Welcome back to the Tide Pool podcast. Today we are with a brand new guest, or not a brand new guest. We're going to be re-interviewing Sander. He was the first ever guest on the podcast a really long time ago.
Oh, I was.
But
I did not know
we
that.
are now back with Sander.
Hi. Welcome.
What's up? What's up?
So in the last podcast, we pretty much did an interview style, kind of getting to know you. You can go ahead and watch that one and then come back to this one. But pretty much your love for calisthenics, nutrition.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You've been studying nutrition, everything. So how's it going? What's new?
It's been good. Last year, I think it was a year ago we talked on the podcast. I'm not entirely sure, but last year I was a freshman, right, in college. It's my first year, so it was kind of rough because I didn't really know how to study. I kind of basically didn't do anything in high school, so I kind of got there by luck, and then I got into a good college, and I was like, right, now I kind of have to do something, right? I should start studying. But I had never studied before, at least not properly, so I was like, how do I do this? Like, let me figure this out, right? And it kind of was a rough start, but now that I'm in my second year, it's actually going really, really well. Like, I'd say I'm close to the top of my class. Like, I'm doing really well actually now that I know how to study.
That's awesome.
So it took a while.
That is awesome. So, what are your current goals in life right now? What are you working towards?
Right. Good question. So, specifically, I've always been a very driven person. I like to think that I always set big goals. Whether I can reach them or not is the question, right? But I try to set big goals and dream big. So, the goal I have right now, I'm doing my bachelor's, right? And after that, I want to get into my master's degree. I'm already kind of transitioning into my master's degree, so it's not really a question whether I will be accepted or not. It's kind of already for sure that I will get accepted because I'm doing this program of extra credit, which is at the same university as my master will be. So it's kind of like, why would they not accept me? So that's kind of the thing that's going on right now. So after that, my goal that I've set for myself right now is to get a PhD. So after my master's degree, I want to get a PhD. That's kind of the main thing. That's still going to be 8 years from now if I were to get everything back to back without, being slowed down anywhere along the way. But that's kind of the big thing right now, honestly. Just grinding out school, academia, just enjoying the process. Honestly, that's just the goal for that is set for myself. And outside of that, I don't really have any goals. I just try to get better every day. So with training, I just enjoy training. I enjoy the process, so I try to get better every day. I don't have any specific goals. Well, maybe some benchmarks I'd like to reach within the training, but besides that, not really oh, I want to get to this point, or I want to do a show, or I want to do a competition or anything. I just enjoy it, and I enjoy working out as a big part of my life. And besides that, I just have fun, I guess. I just set goals for myself that are hard to reach, and I try to reach them basically.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah.
So it is pretty crazy going on right now with the whole virus, and knowing all the stuff that you do. You go to the gym, you have to work, do school. How has it been impacting going to the gym? Because I know, at least for the United States, it's been getting really, really crazy, as in everything's shutting down. So I don't know how it's in the Netherlands.
Right. So obviously, I've been following the news religiously over the last couple of weeks. I mean, I've always done that, but now especially. And I know that obviously it started in China, as we all know, and then it kind of got to Italy. Well, basically, that's the middle of the heat right now, especially in Europe. It's really bad. So I remember specifically that they were like, oh, someone got infected in the US, right? The United States. But at that time, there was already 400 or 500 people infected in my country, right? So it was already really big here. Belgium was shut down. Germany is shut down. France is shut down. I actually have a friend in Germany and in France. That's why I know, right? So places were getting shut down, and if you have the map in your mind, right, you can kind of figure that everything is closing in on us, and we have nowhere to go. So everything, it was just a matter of time before we got infected, and we were aware of everything going on because it was Italy, then it was France, so it was kind of moving closer and closer to us. And first started off by Italy closing down stores, right? Eventually, so it got to us with the toilet paper. People started going crazy. You've probably seen it in your country. People start buying a lot of shit. Well, in our country, there's not really like a prepper community or something. Stores are very small compared to stores in the States, for sure. Like everybody, like there's only 17 million people in our entire country, right? So it's not that big of a deal. There's plenty of stuff for everyone. So people started going crazy at first for like a week, and then it kind of died out. But first things that closed, honestly, were schools. Schools were the first thing to go. They said, "Oh, we're closing down for 2 weeks," right? That was the original plan, and then they added another 2 weeks. So the goal was April 6th is what the goal was, to open back up again. And the even the day after, like it got progressively worse day by day. So the day after, everything like gyms and all that kind of stuff closed down. So gyms, restaurants, stuff like that. And now the only thing that is left and allowed to go to is things you need for to live, basically. So stores for food, um, and people you need to take care of. But you're not allowed to, for example, those places where elderly live and stuff, those
Yeah.
Yeah.
communities are all shut down. You cannot enter, only if you work there. And even if you do work there, you're kind of forced to stay home. All elderly people are basically, they try to isolate them because they could possibly die. And yesterday alone, 30 people died. And you might be
Oh
like, oh,
wow.
that's
Oh
just
gosh.
30 people. But in a country of 17 million, that's quite a lot,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's actually like, there's only 30,000 people in my town, so 30 people dying in just our area alone is pretty big deal. And something that's never happened before. I mean, we're a well developed country, so stuff like this happening is crazy. We, just like the US and the rest of the world, I don't think we were ready for this. So to get to your question, as if in terms of how does it affect me at my work, so I can't work right now. Gym's closed down. I can't go to the gym. Luckily I mostly train in parks over the summer, but even now, just now, like half an hour ago, those were shut down as well. I can't go outside and
Oh wow.
train there if there's other people there, because then I'm with more than two people and I can get a fine or even get arrested, right? So uh, honestly, it's affected me a bit, but because of the sport I do, I can manage, train kind of around it and be creative and stuff. But I definitely have a lot of people that I do know from the gym, especially because I work there, and they're very affected. They can't work out. They don't know what to do, right? They don't know what to do. They're just like, I don't have equipment. I don't know how to train other ways. So they go do stupid stuff like not stupid stuff, but they go for runs and stuff, and they try everything. They go do stupid shit like eat hella food just to try to maintain mass. But it's just kind of, people don't know what they're doing. It's a mess. It's a mess. And honestly, I feel like people have to find their way. I wouldn't say people are protesting against it, but people are definitely like, earlier on today, I looked out of my window and I saw my neighbors in their backyard having a birthday party, right? Which is not allowed. And actually, someone else in my street, went over there to say like, "Yo, it's not allowed. Like, why are you being so selfish? Like, people are dying because of people meeting up." So it's definitely a lot of pressure, a lot of people panicking because they don't know what to do. Um, so yeah, it's definitely a weird time, but I'm just trying to stay positive.
Yeah.
Like I said, you got to work around, work with what you have, and I feel like. Not going to the gym, it's not the end of the world. Like, what's more important, right? People dying or you losing a bit of muscle? And even if you don't lose muscle, you don't even lose muscle that fast. So I feel like people are exaggerating in terms of the problem. The real problem is obviously the spreading of the virus. It's actually that bad in my area that if you go to the hospital for no matter what, like let's say you get a heart attack, there's just no way for them to help you because there's just too many people at the hospital. Everything is just shut down. Like we have a national train system, right? The train tracks, everything is shut down. You can't go anywhere. Everything is locked down. Even if I were to fall from the staircase right now and I break something and I'd have to go to the hospital, they would be like, "Oh, we can't help you. There's just no doctors." So it's just
Wow.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Everything went south really fast.
Yeah, it's definitely a really scary time. And also, I gotta say about like people not being able to go work out. I definitely have been looking out my window and just all of my neighbors, people I haven't even seen before, are just out of their houses, running, biking. Families
Yeah,
are
now
going
it's
out.
like people go crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
People are really, I don't know. they're all over the place. But I guess this question kind of ties in with this tough time. How are you staying motivated? Like, how are you? Like, I know you're still working with school and stuff. How are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How
I
do you
get
stay
yeah.
motivated?
Yeah, so for me, right, first of all, what you're saying, like people are definitely going everywhere. It seems like all of a sudden people go do weird shit. They're just like, oh, I never worked out, but now it's the perfect time to go for a bike ride. It's definitely the same
Yeah.
here, which is crazy. And in Dutch, we actually have an expression for that, so it's kind of funny. It's basically about it goes like a kat in het nauw maakt rare sprongen, which means a cat that's driven into a corner does weird shit. You know, when you drive a
Yeah.
cat like into a corner, it starts jumping and shit. That's basically what
Yeah.
it is. People get pushed into a corner and they go crazy, right? Which is, I
Mm.
guess, a perfect expression to describe this. So, how to stay motivated for me? It's simple, right? I have a set goal that it's been here for, I guess, a year almost. I'm not sure if you can see this behind me, but right there I have a whiteboard like right there, right? And you can
Oh
see
yeah.
some stuff that's written on it. It's actually a planning of what I'm working on. And before corona was even a thing here, at least before my school was closed, I had a set planning of I want to do this, I want to do that. So for me, I've always tried to improve my life. Maybe I can study more effectively, maybe I can do this, maybe I can try that, right? So it's always been this mindset of trying to be more efficient, I guess you will say. And for me, I have a set goal and I realize that it's going to be tough, it's going to be hard, it's something that most people will not do, or most people cannot do, or for whatever reason they don't try. So if you set your eyes on a big prize, you got to work hard, right? So I've always been like, if I want it, I got to work for it. So it's not that I try 24/7. I'm nonstop doing this, but I have a strict planning and I don't allow myself to slack off. I wake up every day at 6. I go to bed at 10. It's just a strict thing going on. Never stopped, because I know once I stop, like, it's chaos. A lot of people here say Corona vacation. I'm not sure if you've heard it in your country. They act like it's a
Yeah.
break, right? It's a
Yeah.
break from school, which is definitely not the case.
Yeah.
In my eyes, there's no time for breaks. We only have so much time here. It might be over in a year, so we might as well make the best of it. And I don't mean that in a YOLO way, like, oh, you just want to only do fun stuff, but
Yeah, I
you
know
just
what you
got to
mean.
go out with a bang kind of way, right? So I just work hard, and I just try to stick to the schedule. And it's definitely hard. I get what you're saying. Some people will be like, yeah, but I don't know, like, I don't have school till summer, like you just mentioned, or
Yeah.
I don't have school till I don't even know when. It's hard to stay motivated, but you have to realize, like, everything we face, it's always a down and an up, right? After this, hopefully we'll go back to usual, and you will be so far either behind or ahead. And I'd rather be ahead of the curve, because I don't want to fall victim to the trap of not doing anything now and then having to do everything later and catch up. And it's not that I can do anything useful right now anyways, right? I'm stuck at home. I might as well just try to stick to school and get stuff done. It's not that I have anything better to do, right?
Yeah.
It's just my priority. I can't say, oh, I gotta work or I gotta see friends, because I can't. So I might as well do that first, and then after that, I can, I don't know, game, do some other stuff. But it's just, for me, the trick is to stay in a routine and just say we're gonna get this done first, and then we'll see right after. I think that's kind of the trick for me.
Yeah, for school, my like I said, we were talking about it before we started recording. My school just shut down for the rest of the year, and I'm very grateful to
Crazy.
have teachers that throw up their school notes onto the like
Yeah, for
online.
sure.
So I think that's going to be my plan, to kind of just go through those notes, just study, because there's so much to learn, and school's just been cut off early. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, you have no excuse, really. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, got to keep learning.
And for me, it's also like I try to think to myself, like, I'm in like you said, a fortunate position to have notes or have anything. We have everything online in general. I don't
Yeah,
what we like to call contact hours. So the hours I actually have to be in school. For me, it's like 10 hours. So I have Thursday and Friday off regardless of Corona or not. So as of right now, I don't have to come in a lot anyway. So I was already doing much at home. So I honestly, out of all people, have zero excuses to make to not get the stuff done. 10 hours less in class is nothing compared to a 40-hour school week of some students, right? And like you mentioned, I have everything online, so I get to do it. we even have this thing. I'm not sure if it's like going on for you guys as well, but we have Microsoft Teams, which is what everyone is using here. You just log into your classroom, and there's a teacher with a webcam on, and they just, I don't know, explain some stuff. It's not a full class, but they explain what they need to explain. We get some lectures in there. We get some just assignments, and you can ask questions. You can just chat with them. It's like a little bit faster. It's kind of like Discord, right? Like if you were to teach me something
Yeah.
right now, and I would just be muted and I would be listening, and if I had a question, I would just shoot a DM. And that's kind of the way they try to keep going. But um, I feel like it's just your own responsibility and being grateful for that you can learn, that you can go to school, and definitely that I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my school's been shut. Well, when everything came out, our governor shut down like the whole entire, restaurants and everything. But before that, our school got shut down, but we were going on spring break already. So it was already, we had break. So we were all wondering, are we going to get like a third week off or something? Because our
Right,
break is
makes
a little
sense.
bit earlier than most schools. But we just got the call like a week ago because it was when everything was happening like in Italy, and then it moved to the United States, and then we got the third week off. So next Tuesday we should be in online school, so teachers have been sending out Google Classroom links and we have to join those,
Yeah.
and I think we'll just have projects to go ahead and turn in. But I have no idea for like my math and ecology class. I have no idea how that's gonna work.
Yeah, the same for me. For example, I also take extra cooking classes. Like, how are you gonna cook online, right? It's
Yeah,
kind of
Yeah.
it's like
kind of
those
weird
types of
how.
classes. I have no
Yeah,
idea how
yeah,
they're
for sure.
gonna come up with something, but my
I'm worried
ceramics teacher
flat out.
already
'Cause
like sent out a link.
Yeah,
I don't know, like, am I gonna have to repeat the year? Are they gonna push school
that's my biggest worry as
early?
well.
Because
Yeah,
they just cut classes off. We didn't finish learning,
exactly.
it's it's a very weird situation. It's we had our last day of school, but we didn't know it was going to be our last day of
Yeah,
school.
exactly same here.
Our teachers just sent us home with some work and they were like, "Okay, just do this over the next month." But now it's like, I don't know. It's definitely really weird
Mhm.
and
Yeah, definitely.
freaky.
I feel that it's kind of weird as well because, like you said, I just went home on Wednesday. It's like, right, weekend. I'll be back Monday, and
Yeah.
like Kaylee said as well, I was going through a period of kind of on and off school, kind of like a break kind of thing. We have this thing we celebrate in our country, so we had a week off, and then I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. Then the week after, my school was kind of like weird about it, so I only had one day of school as well the next week. So I basically got right back into it the first week, basically after that, and I go home, and then I just get the news I don't have to come back, and especially what you said, like I'm for me, as I said, academia goal, right? I'm just like I don't want to waste time. I don't want to repeat. Like I'm still gonna have to be here for a long time. Will this like limit my opportunities? Will I be slowed down? Will I like lose extra credit? Because I always try to work ahead. I always try to get the extra credit because I know it's going to be a selection, right? So I want to be I want to have the biggest odds I can, so I try to do extra credit work, and I was working ahead, but now um I'm like 4 or 5 weeks ahead, but everyone is ahead, right? So I lose my little bit of a advantage here. So I'm not sure how that's gonna affect me in the long run. And I'm sure everything will be fine, right? Like you said, everything will probably be flattened out a bit, but I guess we just gotta wait. It's just interesting to see how this is gonna unfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And I
really
don't know about you
interested
guys, but is
to
it
see
kind of
like the
messing with your
outcome.
social lives as well?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Like I
for
said, I
sure.
can't go
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
with my friends or anything. Yeah.
My
Mhm.
friend
I
asked
can't
me
do
to hang out the
anything.
other day, and I said, "No, I mean, I got to social distance. I
Yeah,
can't
same.
risk anything. I don't want to get my parents sick." And I don't know. I've just been FaceTiming friends, but it's
Yeah.
kind of sad to know that I can't go back to school and go to my classes with my friends. Hang out with them
Yeah, I
afterwards.
feel that. I feel that.
So
I was with a friends up until last week. I kind of was like, it's not too bad. I wasn't like denying it, but I was like, yeah, I have one friend that I see almost every day. Because, like I said, small country, everyone lives close by. My friend is like a 2 minute drive. I could even walk there, like I'd say like 10 minutes. walk, so I could get there really fast. So we hang out a lot. We just hang out for like 2 hours. We don't have to plan something. I could just be like, hey, you doing something? No, right, I'll be coming over. So we just hung out, and I had something else planned with a friend, but he asked today again, like, you want to hang out tonight? I was like, we shouldn't. Like, we should for now just keep some distance. And it sucks. It sucks because you want to have a great
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
especially now that you have less school and the commute is gone as well. For me, I traveled 1.5 hour to school and 1.5 hours back, so that saves me about like 12 hours a week. So I have more time on my day, but I can't spend it on doing something, I guess you could say, fun. I can't hang with my
Yeah.
friends. So
Yeah.
you just kind of go over to FaceTime or whatever you want to use, right? And even that is just different. It's just different.
Yeah. I think definitely for me, it's impacted me a lot. Because like at the beginning, we were just told, take it seriously. Like this was at the beginning where we didn't really know much, and everyone was just like, just take it seriously. But now that it's like in our own country, I think it's a lot different. And just thinking like, oh, hey, if a friend texts me, hey, want to hang out, but then knowing that you're really exposed to it, anything, because like you're
Yeah.
going, like even just going to the grocery store, like my dad has been going very early because that's like when there's not that many people there, but like still like they've been marking on the lines like 6 feet, that way you are not
Yeah.
in
Same
close
here. 1.5
contact with
meters.
other
Yeah.
people. So it's been crazy. And now like I would kind of just be really nervous even just going outside, going somewhere, because just that thought that you are exposed to all these people, and like I just
Yeah, I definitely
touching
agree.
everything, it's really different now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was actually outside at the park training as I usually do. And I gotta say, I felt really uncomfortable just because, like you said, you don't wanna you don't want to get affected. And when I went to the store, for example, to get groceries, I would just the store in my town is 2 minutes away, so it's like a 2 minute walk. So when I need something, I don't buy like food for 5 days because I can go there in 2 minutes. So what's the point? I just buy food every day. If I need to get something like a snack or I don't know, lunch, I'll just walk there and then just walk back. So I'm just casually walking over there. I was going to pick up a package because it was next to the post office. I was like, right, let me get my package. I told them to deliver at the delivery point, right? So I just go there, go to the access point, get my package, and I had to stand between these duct tape lines on the floor in like a cube. I had to stand there and just wait. And then after I had to sign on the screen, right, on this touch screen, and after I signed it, they like sprayed it and cleaned it. I was like, that's good they're doing that. But then I went into the store, and there were literally was a guy saying, asking everybody that walked in, like, are you sick? Like, are you like did you sneeze a lot? Are you coughing? Because if you said yes, you had to go out of the store. And as I walked to the checkout, I put my stuff on a thing on the counter, and I'm like, right, there's this big like glass plastic kind of board in front of the cashier, and she's like further backwards than normal, like all the way to the back of the thing. And I had to stand also way to the back as well, again in one of these cubes, and I had to just wait. And I could only pay by card. I couldn't use paper money because they said no, it could transfer the virus. So they're like super cautious, which was kind of like a shock. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of shocked me, right? I was like, wow, that's crazy to see that happening so fast.
Yeah. Isn't there some talk about how, as we're coming into the summertime, they're hoping that the virus won't be able to survive in like the hot
Yeah.
weather?
I
I actually
think
I've heard some
I don't
looked
know.
rumors like
into
that.
I actually looked into it, but they said you have a lot of coronaviruses, right? I'm not sure if you're aware. You had like different ones, like SARS and all these other ones. In
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just one of
other.
the strains.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
exactly. So one of those strains was I think it's called SARS,
Yeah.
and it's a thing that came
Yeah.
from camels in the Middle East, right? But somebody mentioned some doctor, and he was like, we did research, but in the desert it's like
It's
way
hot.
hotter than it's ever gonna be. So why, if it worked and spread there, and it was actually spreading way faster, then why would this stop, right? And especially in
Yeah.
my country, it's not gonna be hot. Like, it's never going to be above like 90 for to kind of like translate it to your kind of thing, right? It's just not gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Maybe like 85 if we're lucky. Um, So it's not going to be that extreme, and it's not going to, I don't think it's going to make a difference. It's just a virus. It spreads, it mutates as well. So
Yeah.
we'd have to see.
It just has to run
Yeah.
its course, honestly.
For sure.
Like
Yeah.
you can't do anything about viruses. You can do things about like bugs, or if you get like the common cold, you can take medicine to help do that, because it's I don't know, I'm not really good with what they are, but viruses
Yeah.
have to run their course. You can't like
Yeah, like there's no vaccine, especially.
Yeah, there's
and
no
a vaccine
yeah.
takes time, and because
Lot of
I'm in
research.
research and I take research, that's kind of the thing I want to go into, right? And we also have some subjects in school that are similar um, to medicine, right? To studying medicine. So we do a lot with medicine students as well. We always talk about this stuff, especially now. And basically, the virus needs a vaccine, but to test a vaccine, you need a human trial, and that's not so easy to do. Normally, that could take maybe like 2 years, right? So now that the virus is obviously so dangerous and it's such a high priority, they're definitely like putting it on a fast lane. Like, yo, we can skip this, we can skip that. We just got to get it out. But still, you can't just start, human trials without any research of what it's going to do. It might actually make things worse, or potentially be harmful to people, and there's laws that you just can't do that. So things just take time, and they need to just figure out what they're going to do. And uh, I guess it just takes time, but that's also because they just don't know where to start. I think they just have to find out like what they're going to do. Vaccines take time, because even for other diseases that have broken out, like Ebola, you might think like, oh, there's a vaccine now because I've not heard from it, but there's not. There's just no vaccine because there's no, as I understood it, people, it's a problem now, but a vaccine might take a few years. So by the time the virus will die out, maybe like in a year, let's just say it dies out next year, March, right? By that time, the vaccine is not done, but the demand for the vaccine dies out slowly as well. So people are not going to be worrying about it too much. So the funding for the research into the vaccine is going to slowly die out as well. So that's kind of also a problem. Now there's a lot of funding. People are like, I don't care what you do, just find the cure, find the vaccine. But as the virus is going to be less of a big deal, less of a problem, hopefully over time, people are not going to be as interested in finding a vaccine. Who tries to who tries to find a vaccine for something that only affects like 1 in 10 million people? Nobody, right? But if it's affecting everyone, like now, everyone wants to find a vaccine. So that's also something that is majorly overlooked, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I just hope this thing goes away soon. It is starting to like, I don't know. It's going everywhere. It's becoming really scary now that it's affecting everyone.
Yeah.
And everything as well.
But and everything, yeah.
Yeah,
All the
especially
deaths, it's
It just
yeah,
kind of takes
sorry.
over as well.
Cut out for a second.
It's
oh
fine.
yeah, I think it's a little laggy.
It just
A little laggy right now.
Yeah.
right. What's
But
going on? Okay.
yeah,
Okay, I think it's okay.
Discord's going crazy. Sorry for everyone listening.
It's
I
probably because everybody is home now.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Discord, yeah.
That's one thing. Like everything's been going crazy with like internet providers and like
For sure.
streaming platforms.
For
like-
for us, it's actually pretty doable. I've not seen any problems with any services I use, at least in my country. But like I said, we are used to high stress loads because there's a lot of people in a concentrated area, so it's always been like well developed. But for sure, things like Discord, Microsoft Teams, that are internationally used, it's just crazy. The lag, and especially like
Netflix.
when you think about it, things like Steam or something, they're just like they're making bank, like they're hitting the mother load right
Oh,
now. because
yeah.
everybody's home. There's like buying games. I mean, it's just crazy to think about that.
There's
Yeah.
always that silver lining. I mean, if you take a look at Italy right now, or Venice, since no one's out, like they're seeing like the wildlife spike back. Like there's like the water's like clear and everything. Like
Oh, that's
Just
interesting.
Yeah.
I think the entire Earth, I think Mother Earth just got really angry at humanity and said, you know what? I'm gonna hurt you guys just for 1 second.
Who knows?
I know, but just that I don't know if you guys saw, there's this map that NASA put out showing the air pollution over China just kind of disappeared ever since
Yeah,
coronavirus
I
came.
saw that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
So the earth is
Yeah,
definitely cleaning up. These are horrible, sad times because people are dying, but I mean at the same time the earth is, I don't know.
regenerating.
It's
telling you,
regenerating in a
silver
way, yeah.
lining.
Yeah, it's like a
So
kind of like a natural selection, if you will,
yeah, definitely.
like
Honestly, though.
survival of the fittest. Because like obviously it's very sad what's going on, but
Yeah.
Yes.
the people that are already sick are actually especially vulnerable. People that smoke, people who have diabetes, type 1, type 2, or heart patients. They're obviously just as a fact they're just a weaker people, and they
Yeah.
seem to die faster. So it's kind of a way of, I guess, life, like a survival of the fittest kind of thing that's going on right now. Obviously that's not what you want, but uh it's just crazy that it seems to be that way. Like you said, it's kind of like everything is regenerating, like the pollution is going down, stuff like
Yeah.
that. And especially in the thing that's been going on with the US and Europe, I know we have like as a world we have like laws to like the climate law thing, and Trump is very like against it or something. I'm not entirely fully up to date, but it's kind of crazy how we all try to limit the pollution, and now one virus comes around the corner and everything seems to be
Yeah.
way more effective at that
It's
reducing pollution.
I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely really sad that there are a lot of people out there that need to get medication and stuff but can't. I mean, I know in my area at least pharmacies and grocery stores, all the non-essential or essential businesses are open.
Yeah, same
Um
for me
so
too.
that's good, but yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
I,
but even if I were to live like in Italy, right, or even myself right now, to a store, like why would I? My mom usually, like I said, we live so close, we go every day. Like, oh, what do you want to have for dinner? Let's just go buy dinner, right? We just go. It's like it takes like 15 minutes to just go buy dinner. So, but
yeah.
now my mom is doing something we've never done and just buys for an entire week of stuff. Not as like a prep, but just so she doesn't have to go there as often. So the likelihood of her getting infected is less, right? Because you just
Yeah.
don't want to be there all the time.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
actually
One.
made it so here that elderly people can only go. I think it's between 7 and 8. There's no one allowed below the age of 65.
We've
So
we've
everybody
had that for
old
our
can
grocery
go to the store.
stores.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
That's
Do you have
interesting.
that, Ariana?
that's good.
For
I
grocery
don't know.
stores?
No, I don't think so. But I do know there's a lot of people volunteering in my area to go out and buy groceries for the elderly and then bring them back to their homes so they
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't have
same
to
here.
go out in the first place. But
I feel like that's something my mom mentioned earlier today. Actually, kind of funny to talk about. She said, "I feel like everything like next after this, like after Corona, people are going to be a lot closer and just in general be more like cautious of this kind of stuff because we weren't prepared at all. But I feel like next time we will be prepared and we will know like to just keep our distance. Like I never thought about cleaning my hands as much as I do now. Not that
Oh
I
yeah.
don't wash my hands, but I don't wash my hands like 8 times a day or something. You know, I don't wash my hands for 30 seconds. But now everybody learns, I guess, good manners, if you will. And she said that that's a good thing. Going forward, it will be something useful, not just for Corona, but just for any infectious disease.
Mhm.
yeah, it's a teachable moment
For
for
sure,
people.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I tried to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
Another thing, at least my family's been doing, is like ordering from like mom and pop places around
kind
my
of smaller
area.
restaurants.
Yeah, smaller restaurants. Like my neighbor owns a restaurant. We've been like trying to help him out, like ordering some food.
Oh, like that, like a
Everyone,
financial support
yeah.
kind of thing.
So, because I know it's honestly terrible for some companies, especially.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. For us, it's obviously different the way our countries run. For us, the government just covers. If countries are going like if countries are going down, big companies, important companies, the government does help out financially. So even with healthcare, right? Healthcare is taken care of in our country. You don't have to pay anything. Healthcare is always taken care of. You just pay per month a certain amount of healthcare, fees. But that's I'm lucky, I guess, we have that. But it's definitely hard for people that are not like big companies because a one-man company will easily be forgotten. Like the government is not gonna, it's not essential for the government. Like for example, like electricity or phone companies are important because they keep everything running, but uh, some one-man things are just not important, and they're just gonna die out.
Yeah, definitely. We got to support those small businesses. Also, I know there's just a lot of prejudice, not prejudice, just I don't know. It's a weird time. We saw in New York City. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was this like Chinese man who was just flat out dying on the street, not from coronavirus, of
Did
course,
not
but
see that.
he was like having a heart attack or something. I don't know what was happening, but people refused to give him like CPR because they were
Oh,
afraid they catch a virus just because
Oh
he was
wow.
like
oh wow,
Chinese.
that's crazy, and that makes
And
Yeah.
sense though too. That's crazy.
so yeah, it's I don't know, it's horrible. But I know a lot of people are working to get rid of that kind of
Yeah, it's
racism,
like
I
a
guess.
thing that does unite people. I feel like it's weird to say unite because we've
I
never
know what you
been as
mean.
far from each other as now because we cannot physically see each other. But it does unite in a way where people are coming together to
Yeah.
To help the
support good
community.
causes. Yeah, for sure. And like you said, small businesses, you try to support them. Things are going on here as well. People try to, like you said, bring groceries to elderly people, things like that. That's a good thing. That wouldn't be happening if it was just a small thing. But there's also people downplaying it. Like I'm not sure how that is for you guys, but there's a lot of people downplaying it here that are like, no, we live in a like safe country, nothing ever happens here, like we're fine, like it's not a big deal. People, or they say shit like, oh, it's probably like a conspiracy. People have always said that as well, which is just
Yeah.
crazy to me. It's dumb
Yeah.
to me. It's like it's a serious thing now.
Yeah, I think sad, scary situations like this really bring out the best, but also the worst in humanity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. It's just interesting to see this. But I hope I hope it ends soon.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I mentioned earlier too. When you drive a cat into a corner, that to kind of get back on that, that's kind of what's happening, right? People, you don't know what's gonna happen, and some people just get scared, and they either say stuff to avoid just their new reality. People are scared. I know a lot of people that are not able to be alone, right? Like I'm fine being alone for a few
Yeah,
weeks, a
same.
few months. Like I'm chilling. Like
Yeah.
I used to be a loner for years. Like nothing changed, right? But
Exactly,
um
yeah.
it's for
It
some
hits
people
different though.
without social contact, it's just crazy. It's just they go nuts. Like I know my sister, she's like, I need contact, like I need it, like I just want to be with people. I don't care who it is, just I just want to have people, and I want to be able, like I don't want to go outside, but I just want to know that I'm able to go outside. That's kind of what you said, like it hits differently
Yeah.
now. It's like forced upon you.
It's
Yeah.
brought up this whole conversation of introverts and extroverts. I'm definitely more introverted. Honestly, I haven't seen a change in my schedule. This is normally how I live my life in front of my
Oh,
computer. But
crazy.
I thought about it, and honestly, like I said, ever since school is shut down, the fact that I can't go to school, go to my classes and see my friends and have those fun conversations with them again, it really bums me out. But I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah,
I'm perfectly fine staying inside my house. I have so many different activities to do. Thankfully, I'm grateful for that. Um, but yeah, like I'm perfectly capable of staying away from people, you know. I can
yeah.
still
And it's
FaceTime and stuff.
a lot of things with travel as well. Some people that
Oh
for
yeah.
me, like I didn't have
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
I'm scared. My thing is gonna. I have a trip in July, but I'm just gonna assume it's gonna get canceled because everything is locked down. If Germany locks its borders, I can physically not go anywhere because Belgium is locked. So if Germany locks their borders, I'm stuck. Like even
You're
if I want to go
landlocked.
somewhere, yeah. Um, and even if they don't, I don't think I would want to go somewhere knowing that the virus is out there, and being not being able to speak a language in a country where I'm at. Obviously it's different in the US because everywhere you drive for 5 hours, like if I drive for 6 hours, I might go through five different cultures, six different languages, like, everything is different. So healthcare is different, language is different. I'm in a place where I don't know anybody, nobody can get to me. So it's just kind of the thing here, especially for me. Like I don't even think I would want to go somewhere, and especially fun things like if I were to want to come to the US and meet somebody or something. Let's say I would want to hang out with you guys and I planned a trip like 4 months from now. um it would be canceled right now, which kind of sucks because some people have been
Yeah.
living up to something for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
I
definitely
know.
know my dad was supposed to go to Peru in May, but that we're just assuming that's canceled because
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
no way.
definitely. Probably.
The cancellation kills because I know we were actually supposed to go on vacation for spring break, but we found out that my relatives who were supposed to be meeting us couldn't come because one was, I think, got sick or something, and his chances were with getting the virus was really high, so they didn't want to travel. And then, kind of thinking about it, we are like, if we were to get any like exposed to the virus or anything, we would have to stay there for 2 weeks. And we didn't know yet that schools were gonna cancel, but we would have to stay there, and I would have to miss school if I were to go back. So we just decided we had to stay. And then I know for sports, like all of my hockey games got canceled, my mid-ams got canceled that I was supposed to go to in May for like a showcase, and it just really does suck with the cancellations though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And it's a thing. Like, there's a guy in my town. He's 16 years old, right? And he's in coma right now because of the virus. So people are
Oh
saying like, "Oh,
no.
I can't get
Oh my
infected.
gosh.
Nothing is gonna happen." But he was just 16 years old. That's really young. At least in my eyes, it's really young.
That is
Uh,
young.
Yeah, it's young.
and he infected his mom. He infected his dad. His brother is, I guess, for now. They said he was not infected, but even if you have the virus, you could be carrying it for a week and not feel any symptoms, and then all of a sudden it could be done in like 3 days. I think it took like 2 to 3 days before they literally had to put him in a coma artificially to keep him alive, right? So you don't know
Wow.
what's gonna happen. It's just a risk that you don't want to take, I guess. And a lot of people downplay it as in like also because they're scared to like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's not. I'm not gonna get infected. I have a strong immune system. I'm not sick. I don't have diabetes or anything, so there's
Yeah.
no risk for me. But you don't know what's gonna happen. It is a virus, and some people just respond differently.
Yeah. My parents and I were kind of shaken. We were in Turin and Milan in northern Italy,
Yeah,
and 5 days after we left, I think it was like the first man in Europe to die from the virus, as far as I
yeah.
know.
All hell broke loose. Yeah,
Everything just went crazy. And so we were obviously freaking out for that first week that we got back home, for the first 2 weeks, but we never showed any symptoms. So,
but you never got checked or anything by your country, like
no,
people. Like,
I mean,
oh, great.
we did, even when we were traveling, you've seen lately kind of in airports, there will be people checking your temperature. The only time we got checked for our temperature was when we were entering Turin, Italy. But on our way back to the US and everything, they didn't do anything. We called
That's
Oh
our
wow.
nice.
doctor's office. We called our
Yeah.
doctors and they said, okay, well, within the next week or two, if you show any symptoms like a fever, just normal like flu symptoms, I guess, and let us know in advance and come in. But thankfully, we never had anything. But it was definitely scary because we were just traveling. We went through like 3 different airports. We stopped in Germany, we were in Italy, the US,
Oh, very
and
close to it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was it was creepy, but I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I had friends that were in Thailand and stuff, and I was like, "Yo, you're fucked. Like you're
Yeah.
fucked. Like just like straight up. Like I can beat around the bush, but you're just fucked."
Yeah.
So he comes back and he all I get is a text, right? I look down and I was wondering to myself like, is he fine? Like, and he just sends me text like, I'm fucked. He lives in France, right?
Yeah.
And he's actually sick right now. He's in the hospital because
Oh wow.
he has corona, and it was
Oh
just
god.
tricky. He said, I don't have breathing issues. He says, I'm just so tired. Like he sent me a voice memo of like 2 minutes. He said, I can't function. Like I can't like I'm so tired. I can't I don't know. I can't talk. I can talk, but it's just so tiring. Everything is so slow. He said I'm just sleeping and eating, and I'm just trying to I guess, that's it. He said, I sleep, I eat, and that's all. So I'm just happy that he's okay and he's alive right now, but you don't know what's going to happen. And it's just kind of a scary thing. I know my neighbors from across the street, which is like, I'm not sure what it's like for you in your area, but the street for us is very small. Like I said, everything is compact. It's literally like 5 seconds and I'm at their front door, right? So they both have corona. They've been locked up in their house for the past 3 weeks. I've not
Wow.
seen them. They wave at me sometimes when they're in front of the window, but it's crazy because a month ago I was having dinner with them and we had some like celebration thing going on, right? Um, and it's crazy, and a lot of people too. Like one of them lost her job, so it's kind of like financially
Oh,
as well. I know my mom got fired, so
ugh.
um,
Oh my
stuff's going
gosh.
south. Not that it's bad, and we'll be able to manage, right? But because fortunately we're in a good position. Um, but still, it sucks. It's kind of a thing that does add up over time. That people get affected close to you, and people lose jobs, people lose, you know, things get canceled, stuff like that. It does suck for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we spent a really good amount of time talking about our impacts on this virus, but I definitely want to go ahead and get into more like, I guess, how have you been like working out? And then also you mentioned you got a promotion at the gym and you're thinking about coming back
Right.
to YouTube. So how's all that going?
Right. So first of all, um, for the people that don't know, I do work at a gym. So I kind of had my own thing going on where I think I talked about that last time, how I did train some people in those
Yep.
parks. I did kind of help them. They kind of like paid me a little bit. It was kind of a thing going on. And then this local gym contacted me. It's actually a pretty big gym in my area, and I signed a contract with them to teach there and kind of like cancel my business. And for me, knowing I don't want to pursue any career in personal training, I knew that this would give me certainty and just a good foundation to just have a steady income. And I was just like, honestly, like my focus lies elsewhere. I might as well just stop the hustle and just take a decent salary for it, a really good salary actually compared to all my old jobs. Um, so I started working there, and then I actually did more and more and more, and they allowed me to train there for free. So I was there for like a few hours every day almost just to train, to hang out with people. And I know everybody there, right? There's I think like 2 to 3 thousand people signed up for this gym, so it's pretty big. Um, but people come in and I'm there all the time. People talk to me, and because I do a sport that not many people do, it's like a growing sport. Everybody kind of knew me as this like guy that does the stuff that none of these other people do. Maybe like 2 or 3 people, but I was kind of that guy, you know. So people would come up to me and ask me about it, or they would just when they saw me behind the counter, they would be like, aren't you that guy, you know? So people kind of
Yeah.
started to know me. And my boss was just like, honestly, like, we kind of want to offer you some more opportunities, so we'll hand you the keys and you can like just run the gym by yourself. On some days we give you some extra hours, we give you a pay raise. So that's kind of what happened. And that's where we're at now. I mean, obviously the gym is closed down, but that's kind of what's going on. So I mean, it's good business for them because I know everybody. I'd like to believe I'm socially very easy to talk to. So people kind of, I'm a good I kind of keep up the social contact with everybody for them. So that's kind of a good thing, I guess, for them as well.
That's
So
awesome.
that's kind of that. And in terms of um working out, I do still train, but I was having a rest week, and then Corona escalated. It went really south really fast actually here. Um, there was nothing going on, and a week later we're here, right, where everything is closed down, fines, everything. Um, I think it had been like 30 to 40 years since our vice president had given a speech in our country to speak to the nation, and this week alone it's been 4 times. So to kind of paint the
Wow.
picture here, things go south really fast. And they first were, I'm not sure if the stores are going to stay open, like schools are going to stay open. And then the day after, schools were closed, and the day after, restaurants were closed, and the day after, gyms were closed, and now everything is closed. I can't go out with more than 2 people. So things just got progressively worse and worse and worse. So I come back from this rest week. Today's the first week. Today was the first day of training, and I'm just like, I guess I just do stuff at home. I guess to just see what I can do and just be creative. But
Yeah.
it's definitely different. It's definitely different. Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. Trying to think here.
Uh,
Uh, do you have any advice for people out there? So I know you're a really hardworking person, for anybody out there that's kind of like in a slump right now or doesn't really have their life together, how would you start out? Any advice? Got any tips there?
So first of all, it's a really good question because for me, I've not always been this way, right? I've always struggled with that at first. So for me, what helps is um, a why. Like once you know what you're doing it for, why you're doing it, it's important that you tell it. You want to be able not to just say like, "Oh, I do it because of this. I do it because of that." You kind of want a why that's bigger than yourself, and you want to know clearly, like you want to know exactly. You don't kind of want to know it because then you just kind of want it. You want a bad, you need to know exactly what you're doing. So when people ask you what is your goal, like I said, you maybe have noticed I had a precise path mapped out. Some people say, yeah, I want to be successful. What's successful? How do you define that? How do you measure that, right? I want to get bigger. How much bigger? What would that look like? What would you feel like being bigger, right? Like, oh, I want to win this or that. What would it feel like? How are you going to do that? What's the plan? How many matches do you need to win to get there? How much money do you need to make to buy the car you want to buy? You need a specific plan. um, Once you know, for example, let's just say here we have a person that wants to buy a car that's 100 grand, right? Like a 100K car here. Okay, we have this person and he says like, I want to buy this car, and he comes to me and he say, I want to make a lot of money because I want to buy this car. My first question would be like, how much money is it? And how much money do you make? How many months does it take to save up for that? How much can you improve your, like, can you increase your income? Do you have any like secondary ways of making more money? Do you have a plan? Like, how long is it going to take? And then the second like wave of question would be why? Like, what is that car going to do for you? And I'm not saying you shouldn't buy the car. I'm just saying like, what is it going to feel like? Like, imagine driving the car. What's it going to feel like? Um, what are you going to wake up to like every day? Can you imagine having the car? Can you, um, if people ask you, what are you going to say? Like, are you just going to say, I want a sports car, or do you know the specific brand of the car? Do you know the specific dealership? Do you know specifics? Because once you're able to say, instead of, I want to make a lot of money because I want to buy this car, I instead of that, you can say like, I want to work for the next 14 months, these 3 jobs to make exactly this amount of money in exactly this amount of time, and I spend on average, I don't know, I'm just saying, 1,000 a month. So if I make 5,000, I get to keep 4,000. So I need to save up for so many weeks, so many months to go to this dealership to buy this car. Then you know exactly what you're doing, and then it's easier to keep track because all you have to do then is put a system in place to keep track. You can literally write down, like, I don't know, I'm not really into that, but you could write journaling, right? That's not really something I'm into, but for some people it's absolutely key. They you're journaling, right?
Yeah.
See, exactly, you're right, that's exactly where I'm going. Like, you write down like, today I did this, or um you said like, today I'm going to focus on this 3 tasks, first of all, apply to 2 new jobs or something like that. You track your progress, and once you know, like I said, I have the whiteboard like right there.
Yeah.
You visualize it. Once you visualize, you know what it feels like, you know what it tastes like, you know exactly why you want it, how you want it. It's just a matter of time. You just put in the work, and once the scaffolding is in place, it's just a matter of just filling it up, filling it in, just going hard every day, and then you know what you're doing it for. But like I said, if you don't have a why, if you don't have a how, then how are you supposed to do it? Like, for me, it's impossible to make 100 grand right now because I don't know what to do. I don't have a plan. But if the plan is clear, if somebody gave you an exact blueprint of how to do it, you would be able to do it as well. So I feel like
Yeah.
that's just kind of the core of to keep keep on going and set goals and actually achieve them.
Going into that,
That's
I
great.
feel like the specifics is really important because going back to the
Yeah.
car, like, I want this car. Like, okay, cool. But like, you really have to narrow down how you're going to do that to actually set that goal. Because I know if you just want something, you could buy it, but then you could just be like, oh, I got it, but have nothing, then like not do anything with it. But I feel like if you really get down to the how and why again, it will just make it a lot better, and then you'll actually get use out of what you want to do, or like what's your final thing that you want to accomplish.
Yeah, but on top of that, to name an example, right? My friend Spicy, I think you both know him, right?
Yeah.
I know
He
that.
was
Yeah.
I'd known him since he had like I'd say like 20K subs. I had a friend who made my YouTube trailer. He added him to a TeamSpeak. All of a sudden, I was just chilling with him, and he just adds. He said, "I'm gonna add my friend." Back in the day, I had like I'd say like 6K subs, so I was like, "Oh, who are you?" Sure. He adds this Spicy guy, and I'm like, I hear his voice, and I'm like, "Yo, I've been watching you play factions on this server. Like, that's pretty cool. Nice to meet you." And we gotta start talking, and we kind of become friends, right? Um, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm studying to become a history teacher." I don't think many people know this, maybe, but he was studying to become a history teacher, and he did finish that, right? But he said, "I have a goal, and I want to do this, and I love making videos, but I just don't have the time." He kept sending me stuff. These I got these Snapchats of like him writing essays, and it was so much, right? And I was talking to him about it, and he was like, "Dude, I just know what I want to do. Like, I just don't want to do that. I just want to entertain." And he knew exactly what he wanted. And as you can see now, I think he has like over 1 million subscribers, right? So the guy's doing crazy good. Like, he's just killing it. But he knew why. Like, he knew why. And for me, it's like I always fucked up in school, but I knew right now, like, I know exactly what I want. So now it's easy because you can do it. And it's once it gets hard, for example, like I just mentioned, an essay that's like 400 pages, once you wake up and all your friends are doing other stuff, having fun, they're gaming, or they're streaming, it's just fun to watch you stream. I enjoy watching a stream more than making just doing my homework, or working out, because to be quite frank, it just sucks. Like, it just sucks putting yourself through exercises that burn. It's not as fun as laying in bed watching a movie, or just hanging out with friends. um, I'm legally allowed to drink, for example. So we go out, we have some parties, we just have fun. But it's hard to say, like, "Oh, guys, it's 10 p.m. I gotta go to bed because tomorrow I have to work on my essay." Like, it's really hard to do that. But once you know exactly why, I find that it's easier, because you think to yourself, not just I got to go to bed to wake up to write this essay, but you think I have to wake up, I have to go to bed to wake up early to write this essay, to do well this year, to do well overall, to get into these qualifiers, to get eventually to the goal I want to get to. And if I don't do that now, I'm not going to do it tomorrow, and it's not going to be on a consistent basis. So it's not going to, in the long run, it's just gonna hold me back. And it's easier then to make choices. I feel like, if you know exactly what you want, and not just kind of know, like, oh, I if people say I want to be successful in school, they just they just kind of want it. And if you say exactly, like, I want to get an A plus exactly in this class this semester, then you know exactly what you're working for. So then it's easy to say, oh, I'm just gonna do the extra credit, because what is success? You could just, in the moment, I'm not sure if you can picture this, but in the moment, right, we all notice you're just kind of like, you're feeling kind of slumpy. You're just like, I don't kind of want to do it. I don't really feel like it. Success, right now, success, a B, that's also kind of success. B is good enough. That's success right now. But if you've written down somewhere on paper, for example, uh, while journaling, I want to get an A plus, then A plus is the success. So it's not just the word success, it's A plus. So a B at that moment is no success. So you're not just gonna think like, oh, B is good enough. No, because you know exactly what you need to get. So you know exactly where you want to go to. So then you can't cheat yourself, if that makes sense. That's kind of where I'm going with this. That you cheat yourself, and when it gets hard, you just tell yourself lies. You just tell yourself these excuses, like, I don't have to work as hard. Like, it's fine if I get an A. A is still good. A is still above average. Like, I'd still be top of my class. Oh, my average wouldn't go down. You make up these bullshit excuses, but in reality, you set a goal of an A plus. So you just gotta go ham. You just gotta finish what
Yeah.
you start, kind of.
Yeah, and I really like what you said about knowing what it will feel like to accomplish your goal before you start working towards it. Because the feeling, like knowing what it would feel like to get that report card and have straight A's, that is a huge factor in
For sure.
motivating myself. So I really like that, and yeah, I definitely agree. That's really
For sure,
good.
it's when, just picture that moment when your friends ask, like, I know this moment because I used to always fail tests. You got to understand, I would get straight up like F's in math, like straight up, like my average would be an F, or like an F, like a little bit better than an F, but it would be bad. Like we have a score 1 out of 10, right? So it's a little bit easier maybe. But I would get 2 out of 10s. It was like, and we need a 6 out of 10 to pass the class, right? But a 2 out of 10, it's ridiculous. That's, and you get a 1 for just filling in your name. So it was basically literally the lowest score you could possibly get. You maybe had like 1 or 2 correct answers out of like 50. So uh, I would be really bad at this, but and I would always, it would always suck. People always ask like, "Hey, how did you do?" I got a 7 out of 10. I got an 8 out of 10, and I would have to be like, "Oh yeah, bro, I got a 2 out of 10 because I find Minecraft more important than my actual future." Um, and now it's like I go into the test and I already know I'm gonna perform well. I already know, like you know that feeling when you go into a test and you look over the piece of paper and you think like I know everything. You know,
Yep.
I know
Yeah.
exactly
I
what
love
I'm here
that.
for.
I
I'm
Love
just gonna
that.
kill
yeah,
this shit.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We all
Yeah.
love that.
Oh
But that's what
yeah.
you gotta tell yourself. Like in a moment, this is all about school, right? We all have different goals. But for me, it's like I don't want to sit on it. I picture myself back in the day in high school and having to tell my mom like, "Hey, sorry, like I know you pay like money for me to go to school, but yeah, I just got a 2 out of 10 because I find my you know, Steam games more important than my
Yeah.
projects." And now it's like I also picture myself saying like, "Oh mom, hey, listen, just relax, I got this." Like I got an 8 out of 10, I got a 10 out of 10. Like I'm killing it. Like I know that when now my classmates ask like, "Hey, how did you do?" I can just say proudly like, "I did well, like I did good," because that's what I worked for, and then something you can be proud of as well. And knowing what that feels like, knowing that feeling, like being able to refer to that feeling, it just makes everything so much easier, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember in middle school, if I got like a C on my report card for a certain class in a certain semester, I would hide the report card from my parents.
Oh
I
well.
didn't want it to show, I didn't want to show it to them, so I would get it at school and then I'd come home and immediately put it in my drawer. But now that I've just been like working towards better grades and I know that I can get straight A's, really, uh, that feeling of being so confident in myself that I bring the report card straight to them just because I'm that proud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
It's
feel that.
great, but yeah.
I
So,
also think that setting just a random goal, like either with school or even what you're like, even a game or something, but knowing that feeling can start off a whole new process in how you go about things to setting even more, and just
Yeah,
it can
it
just
gives you
that's
keep
all
on
what
purpose.
we
going.
that's all we talked about last time with the working out, how working out like kind of snowballed into me now. Like last year I wasn't that into school, but it kind of snowballed. Like I'm still going hard in the gym, if you will, but now it's also snowballed to the extent where in school I have the same mindset. It's just like go, 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 go. We just have to keep going. It's I see it the same way. It's just you keep going, you keep getting better, you keep training harder, you keep studying harder, I guess, if you will. You just go hard. And that's exactly as you said. You just go to your parents and you're just like, "Look, I did it. I did
I'm doing
exactly
it.
what." Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, what
So
else?
how's what's your intake with YouTube now? Because I know you came back a while ago, but you even mentioned
Exactly. Yeah.
what when I told you just like write down some things that you've been up to. You were like
Yeah,
thinking
for
about
sure.
coming back to YouTube. So what are your thoughts on that?
Kind of. That's not exactly what I meant. But to get into that, right? So, I had a good. I'm kind of gonna turn this into a story because that's just the way I like to tell this, right? So, um, to keep it a little bit shorter here, I would always be. I wouldn't have that many friends in high school. Throughout high school, it would just be kind of rough for me because I wasn't bullied, but I'm not antisocial. I'm actually a very extroverted person, but for me, I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't care because I was like, oh, I don't give a shit if I can hang out with friends because I gotta get videos done. I gotta talk to, for example, you, Kaylee. I would be up, and it would be like, oh, you would mention, for example, oh, dinner is ready, but I'm 6 hours ahead. So for you, dinner, that means it's already midnight for me. And I would be like, oh, right, see you after dinner. And you would play, like, for example, till 10, but, do the quick math. That's 4 in the morning for me. And I
Hmm.
would still be up talking to you guys and I would be having fun. But it was fun and all, but I wasn't really in a mood to make any friends. I wasn't really trying to make any friends because honestly, I had tunnel vision because I thought I have so many friends. Look at my channel, it's booming. Like I'm getting subs. I'm meeting all these cool people, like these famous people, um, all these other YouTubers that made it or whatever you want. say, right? All these other people that have a following, all these people that don't have a following that are just amazing to talk to, and it was all good vibes. So I was kind of addicted to this to this thing, right? But then especially after that, I enjoyed it, but um, I started working out and I was a little bit depressed because as I got older in high school, I think I was like 16, 17 at the time, right? I was like, yo, like this is not really it. Like I never talked uh, to anyone really. I never talked to girls. I never showed interest in anything of relationship types. Uh, like friendships, I had friends, but I never really thought about a relationship. I never thought about any sports or school performance. Um, and then I kind of started. I met this girl, right, and we ended up getting into a relationship. And I started working out more. I got confidence from working out. Not that I was not confident, but it kind of boosted my confidence so much. And then I had the guts to finally ask this girl out, and we got into this relationship back in the day. Um, and that kind of steamrolled, and then I stopped kind of gaming, I guess, if you will. I stopped. It wasn't so that I was always like, oh, I got to record right now. I was always playing, and I recorded. I was just like, right, if I'm gonna play for 5 hours, I'm just gonna take one of those hours to record, or I would even just record us playing because it was always fun. I was never alone. It was always be content. Everything I did was content. Like I was never just sitting there with music writing. I was always talking, playing party games, just having fun. So just recording and making the highlights would be enough for me. Um, so as I started playing less, I obviously had less content to upload, and I had to specifically schedule like, oh, I'm gonna play Minecraft right now for 4 rounds. And as you know, you kind of want to warm up, you kind of want to get into it. You just kind of want to, and I would be like, I have an hour to schedule this, and it wouldn't just be as genuine. So I kind of left as I got the last little bit of free time I did have. Um, I spent with my girlfriend at the time. So that kind of transition. Then I went to college. I enrolled in college. Like I said, it was a little bit tough. And I quit YouTube altogether. I was like, I can't do this. I can barely manage school and a girlfriend. And I study in the city a little bit further away. So I travel 1.5 hours to get there, 1.5 hours back. I had to wake up at 6, totally not used to it. Um, so I had to, my life was just like shifting, and I was just like, right, we're done. Like, I don't enjoy it anymore. The game was changing. And at the time, the game was dying. That was right, I'd say half a year before the whole thing started with like Minecraft Monday, I think it's called, with PewDiePie and all that thing. Before the
Yeah.
game went booming again, right? When everybody started
Yeah.
playing again. Um, so I left, and then I tried coming back here and there, but it just didn't really work because I would feel those memories again. Like, oh, just right now, I feel it right now too. It's just like fun to talk to you guys, and it's just fun being online. It's just, I guess, back to my roots. I feel like 15-year-old me again, um, and it's crazy. And eventually, I started working out more and more and more, and my relationship with that girl ended. I think we dated for like a year, right? And it ended. Actually, fun fact, about to be tomorrow, exactly a year ago. So that's kind of a fun fact, right? So that ended off basically a year ago, and I was like, fuck, I should maybe just upload some training content. Like I'm good at conveying a message, but I did like, I think like 4 videos or something. One even got like 16K views or something, but
Yeah, I
it
was just
just,
looking at your channel. Yeah.
it wasn't the same. Like it felt forced. It felt different. I'd lost like over 4 or 5K subscribers from just being gone for such a long time, not uploading. Um, and I was so paranoid with numbers back then. I was always focused on like, oh, I want to do good. Like the video has to at least get this much views, because obviously I was just young and ignorant, and I didn't understand that it didn't matter and it was about having fun. But I didn't know I was having so much fun until now that I look back. I felt like, wow, that was a great time. When I look at old videos, now we're finally getting to where I was going. I was with this friend yesterday, and he kind of shares his mindset with me that we just talked about. And he said, but you can go back, right? You got the mindset, you got the discipline to just keep uploading. But I said, it's just kind of the thing that's behind me now, and it's fun. And I was really good at the game, and I love to play with all these friends, but it's just not the same. Like the game has been updated, the servers have changed. I'm a complete noob at the game at this point.
I can
Um,
agree with that. Yeah.
I just, it's
Yeah.
just the thing, like I don't want to ruin what I once had. And it's just a thing. I would one day definitely return to YouTube as maybe not on this channel, but with different content. Maybe just something that you guys wouldn't even want to watch. But maybe once I graduate, start posting about my kind of not like vlogs, not about me, but just about sciencey stuff, right? Maybe explanation videos or stuff about my field of work or something like that. I definitely have a feeling that one day I will return in some way, shape, or form. But as of right now, I feel like if I were to come back and try to form what I once had, try to bring that back, it's not gonna be the same, and I'm gonna just ruin my. I guess if you will, that was my childhood. I started playing Minecraft when I was 11, 2011. That's when the game did release. I think I started playing 2 months after the game's release date, and I played up until 2018, close to 2019. So I played the game for a good 8 years. So I've had
Yes.
my fun. It's my entire youth. It's crazy, but I feel like I should keep it this way. I've grown and I've discovered new areas of my life, and I can't. I know that just personally, when I go for something, I go hard. Like if I set my goal to be YouTube to like regain what I once had, it's just gonna something else is gonna slack off, whether it's school or working out. It's something I can't afford to, especially school. Yeah, I don't want to go back to because first it was like, oh, working out and YouTube are my priority, and then I can get school done. But now it's just the way like school's priority, which obviously makes sense. But to me at the time it didn't. So I don't want to go back to, I guess, having success on YouTube and my school suffering from that, especially since I've set goals now that I kind of want to stick to, obviously. So it's just I guess I'm just trying to protect what I once had, if you will.
I can completely agree with that. I've been playing Minecraft for just about the same amount of time, ever since I was in like second grade,
Yeah,
like 2012. But I, I don't know. The game has changed so much recently.
for sure.
The bigger servers like Hypixel and Mineplex, I don't play that anymore. Sometimes, like lately, I've just been hopping on like Minecraft single player worlds. But for the
Yeah,
longest time, for like the past year, I was trying to force myself to make Minecraft videos, force myself to play the game because I was sad that I was kind of just falling out of that world and I didn't want to
yeah,
lose that
yeah. It's
happiness.
scary.
But I mean, I don't know. Recently, I just noticed, why am I doing this
I don't
if it
think I'm
doesn't
there
make me
yet.
happy?
I still
It's
love
like
playing Hypixel.
it's
Like I know
Yeah,
it's
no,
hard
I
for
can't.
you guys, but I've been still going on. Like I just went on today, like for 20 minutes and played Sky Wars.
No, I can't play
Like
that
I'm
anymore. 'Cause
still
it's
in
just
the
I mean,
groove.
I did play like a few months ago, but for me, like it's um
it's completely
I
different.
once was really good. Like I was like I had like a KD of like 7.5 in Skywars or something, and I was like tryharding, and I was like, I think I have over 10,000 wins almost or something crazy like that, right? I can't remember specifics, but I remember watching videos yesterday. I was checking, and I had over 4,000 solo wins, and I can't imagine doing that again right
Wow.
now, playing for so long, saying like, oh, I want to get 50 wins today or something crazy like that. And I would religiously grind for that, but now just going back, it's just not the same. It's just a game. Like I had this mindset of, I didn't see it as a game to me, right? It was like um
It was my life.
more than a game. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't want to say it, but
Yeah.
you're right. Like it's your life. You're like, I lived in the game. Like I just got home from school and I just sat down and I just didn't
Yeah.
leave the computer, and I just called my friends and I'd wait, and I would play with my friends, and then my friends would leave, and the next wave, like the US people would come online, and I would have just spoken to the European people, or they would even stay up with me. And I met some of my best friends I met online, right? So it's just crazy to see people I talk to for 4 hours a day. Uh, it's just crazy to see. Most of them did live in the US, 6 7 8 hours, 9 hours, even time zone differences. So trying to talk to them was obviously back in the day my priority, but just logging in now, I just see blocks. I just see a game where
Yeah.
I joined a lobby. Not that I remember joining lobbies and people would say my name, people would talk to me. I had a guild chat, I had team speak. There was always somebody to talk to. And now if I do like, I think it's like slash F list, right? I do know the commands by heart, right? But there's just two people online. Like things have died, and the few people that do still play are people that I've grown with the community. For example, my friend Speed Silver, I remember making videos when we both had like 3,000 subs or something, and I do still talk to him sometimes. We hop in, I hop into a stream, but I think he has over 100k subs right now. Things change. Like, he's up to date with the community, he's up to date with the game. I barely know how to move my mouse in the game at this point, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't give the same, like, I guess the dopamine
You
hit, I guess, it
yeah,
feels gone.
yeah, definitely. I got kind of bored of it because it changed
Yeah,
so much, and then your priorities change, and it's a good thing, honestly. I think,
yeah, for sure.
closing that chapter of your life, moving on to something new, I don't know. But
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you had this too, but it's like I really had it, like, it was scary to let go because I was so used to it. So I'm not sure if you had that too,
definitely.
but I
No,
was
I
like,
definitely I was
yeah,
super scared to stop making videos because I was like,
yeah,
am I really going to end this whole chapter? I've been doing YouTube for like 4 years and now I'm just going to
yeah, there's
let
no
it
way
go.
back. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
that's the
So
thing.
it was scary, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm glad I moved on. I'm doing other things like photography, starting this podcast and stuff.
Yeah,
School, of course, that's my number one priority. So yeah. How
yeah.
about you,
But
Blue? You got
Yeah.
you
No,
experienced that?
because
I mean, you
you,
still
yeah,
record.
I had a question for both of you guys can answer this because you guys definitely have shared this, like, you moved on to other priorities, you don't see the game, but is that just because you don't, because I know you, Ariana, you still love Minecraft, and as you
Yeah.
said, you go on playing just, for fun.
Yeah,
But
like
when you said
survival.
quitting, like Hypixel and doing all, was that just because you quit Hypixel? But then that was also YouTube. So was that like just creating videos? Or do you know what I'm trying to
So
say? Because,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
okay.
Like, because I quit both of them relatively at the same time.
Yeah,
Is it
but then you still do YouTube on your.
true?
So was this like saying, I'm going
So
to say goodbye to PvP and recording that, but you still love doing YouTube, so I'm going to take this to another level?
so I love creating videos and stuff, but I don't know. I got bored of Hypixel. I got bored of creating that, but that like Minecraft PvP videos, but Minecraft PvP, Hypixel, that is what I built my channel off of, Skywars and all that.
I can
So
relate that to that. Yeah,
yeah, so like if I quit playing Skywars and stuff, what's the point of making those videos? So
Okay.
you can kind of see on my channel I moved on to like Minecraft hardcore survival and stuff
Yeah.
because that's what I enjoy now, but lately it's just YouTube altogether has kind of I don't know. You know what I mean?
Okay.
yeah. For
Uh,
me, it's like when you said, like, do you love the games? So like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love this game. Like, it's always like, for me, when people talk shit about it, it's still like,
it
it's
hurts.
still
Yeah.
it hurts that I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on in the game anymore because I don't know like what version is out. I used to know I made tutorials on how to install mods, how to get rid of the loading screen. I think you've probably seen that video on how to get rid of loading screens, keystrokes mod. Like,
Your
that's some of
keystrokes
those
mod blew up.
yeah, and especially the tutorial one. I remember like Technoblade and sharing it, and then it blew up as well. Like how to get rid of loading screens, and it was a good video. Like, it was genuinely something useful, and I remember how to do all this and edit the versions. And right now, I opened my Minecraft like a few months ago, and I tried to find Optifine, and I just didn't know where to look. I just didn't know, like, I don't know, the game didn't load, and I would just read the like thing, and I would be like, oh, it's this folder that's not in the right order or something. And now it's just like, I don't know. Like, I love the game and I love the concept, and I will always cherish it. But I'm like old at this point. Like, I've
Me too.
outgrown the game. Like, I'm just like rusty. I'm like rusty for
Yeah,
sure.
I still play like Minecraft survival every once in a while, so I'm not
Cool.
completely done with Minecraft, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I can
I've outgrown it in a way. Not that I wanted to, but it's just in general. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not that when I do, if I were to still game, I would stay play Minecraft. It's not that I got bored of Minecraft. I would never be able to get bored of the game. But um it's just that I don't play anything else in general. It's not that I switched Minecraft for, I don't know, League of Legends, Rocket League. I don't play it. I own 4 games on my entire computer, and I've been gaming for 11 years or 10 years. Like, I only play when people say like, "Oh, what did you play?" I said I play Minecraft. What else? I don't play anything else. I play one thing and I play it
Exactly.
all the time.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I
I play some different games now, but it just I played for half an hour and I leave. It's just not the same as it was before. It's
Yeah, in
just
Minecraft, I could just sit there for hours
yeah.
and upon hours and
Same.
just play and never get bored. But lately, it's been different. So,
It's still
yeah,
on my taskbar too. Actually, when I look down right now, I just noticed like it's file explorer, internet, Minecraft, action, Vegas, TeamSpeak, and then all the other stuff. It's just still there. It's just I
I
don't
just
know. I
have a
guess
bunch of Adobe apps.
yeah. Yeah, that's after I have Steam and then Photoshop, After Effects. But that just
Photoshop,
goes to show
Lightroom.
it's just still a thing that will always be here. It's just I don't know. I'm just proud of everything. I guess in a way that it's still
Yeah,
a part of you. I guess if you will, your
definitely.
channel is just no matter how much subs you have, no matter how far you get, no matter if you make money or not, even if you just have a channel to get to 100 people, 100 people in a room is a lot of people. Um,
It
and
is, yeah.
when I reached like 10K, I was just like, wow, like that's a lot of people. Like I've accomplished something. And now that some people ask, I told my friend the other day, like it's a guy I just met, right? So I told him yesterday. He said like, I heard you did YouTube. Some people ask me like, um, how do you speak English so like easily, so fast? And I'm just like, it's just because YouTube. Like I've practiced a lot and stuff like that. And like, oh, you did YouTube, and I was like, oh shit, forgot about that, right? Not to mention it, but now it doesn't matter anymore. But he's like, well, how many subs did you have? Like a few hundred, and then I said like 10,000, and they're like, wow, like that's crazy. Like I don't know anybody that does. Like right now, I don't know anybody that has more than 1,000 subscribers. Not to flex or anything, but I know this girl in my school she actually has like 3,000 subscribers, and people always say, wow, that's so much. And I think back to myself like, wow, like I actually
It
really
is,
got
yeah.
far as a little kid. So I'm always gonna be proud of that, and I think it's definitely been the, I guess, kind of the ember that started the fire to like I don't know. First it was English, and now I'm interested actually in a lot of language and just connecting to people, and it's kind of how it started, and it's definitely benefited me in a lot because like I said, I live in a small country, so everything is kind of focused on English speaking world because we do export, we do a lot in the English speaking international world. So for me, it's a benefit. Like I speak this language like it's my own language. So it's just something that I've learned at a young age and now benefits me for the rest of my life, I guess. So that's something cool I take away from it as well, I guess.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've been talking for almost an hour and a half. So I think now
Really?
is, I
Jesus.
know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It went by fast. This is great. But yeah, so I think we're going to go ahead, wrap up the podcast for today. It's great meeting you. I know you and
For
Blue
sure.
already did that first podcast already.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. But yes, so thank you everybody for listening. We'll make sure to link your Twitter and everything down below.
Yeah, the things I do
Instagram.
still use.
Yeah. And yeah. So we also
Thank
just
you so
created an
much.
Instagram for this podcast. If you want to check that out, we'll put that in the description of the YouTube video. But yeah, so thank you all so much for listening, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye,
Yes.
guys.
Peace.